So when we're in our class team and we want to make a new assignment, we just click on the assignments button at the top. And then you'll see here any assignments that you've already created. This is just a test class, so there's no assignments there yet. But I'll click on create at the bottom and I'm going to create an assignment. Now with the assignment, I'm going to start a sample one here that I'll do for my Year 10 Computer Science class. So we'll call it Network Topologies Animations. And I can add categories to it if I've got some set up. So my instructions. Well, I'm actually going to put the instructions in a separate file. So all I'm going to give for my task instructions here is read the attached briefing document before starting your animation. And you can see that you've got formatting tools at the top here, so you could write all of your task instructions as part of the instructions section if you want to. I'm going to add some resources now. So I click on Add Resources, and I've got some options. I've got all of my files that are attached to my OneDrive account, so with my school email, my associated OneDrive account, everything I've stored there is available. Anything that's in the class notebook, and we'll have a look at those in a different video. I could use a link, which I'm going to show you in a second. I could create something brand new, or I could use something that's in one of my other teams. For example, if I've got multiple classes and I've used a resource with one class and I want to use the same resource with a different class, then that's available just by selecting whichever team it is that's stored in. But in this case, I'm going to upload from this device down at the bottom here. So if I click this, I'm going to upload the briefing document, which I've already got saved on my device. I just navigate to the file and open. And you'll see once the file's uploaded to the assignment, I can press done and the file's now attached. I'm also going to give the students an example because with this task they're going to be making an animation, so I want them to see the kind of thing that I'm after. So again, I'm going to upload from this device and I'm going to click my example file, and again, once it's uploaded I can press done. So now I've got my two different files attached. I've got some instructions in there. I'm going to add some points to this. Well, I'm going to say that this assignment is worth 20 points. Now you'll see there's a button here, Add Rubric. There's a follow-up video going to come out which will talk you through how to use rubrics. But for the time being, I'm just going to stick with 20 points. Now, I'm assigning this just to this class, but if I click the button next to it, I can assign to any of my classes from this point. So if, for example, I teach 3 classes in the same year group and I want them to all do the same assignment, I can assign it to multiple classes at the same time. And again, I can select the students in the same way. So if there are specific students that I want to complete this assignment, maybe it's a stretch and challenge task, then I can select those students from there. Now we're looking at the due date. You've got a couple of options here. I can just change the due date to whatever date I want to and whatever time. Or I can get some more granular options by pressing edit underneath. So if I press edit, because one of the really useful features of setting an assignment in Teams is the ability to assign it in the future. So I'll quite regularly be teaching a lesson and there's an assignment that I'd like students to have a go of, but I don't want them to see it until partway through the lesson. So I can schedule to assign in the future. I can select a date I want to assign it on. Let's say that I've got this lesson on Monday morning and I'd like to do some work with the students before they start the assignment. So my lesson starts at 9 o'clock and I think I'll probably be ready for them to complete this assignment by 9:30. And then I can change the due date as well. Well, I'd like them to complete it by Tuesday because we've got another lesson then, and I can set the time. Well, I'll give them a bit of an extra time. They can have until midnight. Now, an option you get here is the close date. What you'll see with the close date, if I tick this, it means as soon as the deadline arrives, students can't upload their work at all. They're blocked from uploading. I would suggest that you leave that unticked because what will happen then is students will still be able to hand in their work after the deadline, But when you see their work handed in, you'll see that they handed it in late, and it will tell you how long after the deadline they handed it in. So we're still getting the work. Certainly with remote learning, we know that everybody's circumstances are different at home, and sometimes it's not always possible to get things uploaded on the date or the time that we want. And I would sooner have the work, a few hours late than not have it at all. So I would recommend that you stick without the close date. Something like a class test, however, I tend to use the close date because I want to make sure that everybody's completed it by a certain time. So once I've selected everything and I've decided, I've selected February, that's why that's not working. Once I've selected everything and I've decided that it's all set up how I want, I can just press done. And at this point, the assignment's ready to schedule. So I'll go up to the top and I'll press schedule. Now, because it's a scheduled assignment, this hasn't gone out to students yet. If I hadn't decided to set the schedule point to some point in the future, it would go out to students as soon as you press the post button. So with a different approach, instead of having the schedule, what I've decided to do is to just get rid of that and assign it immediately. So now I can press the assign button. And you'll see now in my assigned section, I've got the network topologies animation. And if I click on that, I can see the status. There's only one student in my class, and I can see the status. They haven't handed it in yet. Something else I can do is to click the three dots at the top and have a look at the student view. And this is exactly what the students will see. So you can see they've got their briefing sheet. They can click on it and they can read their brief. And they've also got their example that they can click on and they can watch an example of the animation. One final thing just to have a look at with the resources. If I add resources again, if for example I'm in, let's say an English lesson, and I want students to have a look at a video of one of the scenes from Romeo and Juliet so that we can do some work on that. I can choose to use a link, and at this point I'll go and grab my link. So I'll go over to YouTube, there's the link that I want, this particular scene, and I'll copy the link. So I'll go over to YouTube and there's the video that I want, and I'll get the link. There it is. And I can go back to Teams, paste the link in there, and I can give it a description. And then I can attach the link. And you'll see straight away the link is there. Students click on the link, it takes them to the video directly. They can watch the video, and I might have put something in my instructions that says watch the video of the Romeo and Juliet scene and write a paragraph to explain the staging. You can tell I'm not an English teacher. But what you've got there is a link that students can use, and it's all part of assigning the different resources that you need for students to be able to successfully complete their assignment.